Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a long time since I've recorded a video. Since this whole quarantine thing has happened, I kind of started getting busy with shooting again. Although a lot of my weddings have been rescheduled, I've been booking lots of portrait sessions, lots of family sessions, and I also created this studio, which you can kind of see back here. It's a little bit messy. It's nighttime now, which is why it's super dark, but I just created this studio. Well, my husband created this studio for me, and I've done a few shoots in here so far, and I'll share some of those images right here. And I'm super excited to do more studio sessions. A huge inspiration to me is Elizabeth Messina, and I love her portraits, her maternity sessions, the way that she uses light in the studio and different textures and fabrics. And so that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, especially with most of my weddings being rescheduled. That's something I really want to focus on and try new things, so I'm excited for that. But today's video, I really wanted to share with you guys my top 5 or 6 reasons on why I still shoot film. I know a lot of people, they're moving towards these presets and these profiles and using certain cameras to get the film look, but I think there's still such a beautiful quality in actually shooting film and getting that look. So today I'm gonna share with you guys my top reasons on why I shoot film. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I hope to be putting more videos out weekly and to get back into the rhythm again. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. Okay, so let's get into today's video. Okay, so my number 1 reason on shooting film is that it makes me a better photographer. When I'm shooting film, it really slows me down. I mean, I don't really have an option, especially when you have only 16 shots on each roll. It really slows me down. It makes me more intentional with each of those shots because each roll costs $35 for me to process and develop with my lab Photovision, but part of that cost is also the film roll itself. So the film roll costs $10, and then the developing, the processing is around $24 Canadian. So it does add up quickly, which is why I don't shoot 1,000 rolls per session. So when I'm shooting each roll, I'm very intentional about each shot. And that way at the end of the session, I've only taken 100, 125 film images, but almost every single one turns out and I can deliver in the gallery. So it makes me a better photographer, it slows me down, and I'm really able to connect with my clients. Number 2, I'm not obsessed with looking at the back of my camera. I know that when I'm shooting digital, especially at a wedding, that I can constantly be looking at the back of my camera, seeing if I got the shot in focus, making sure that it's pin sharp. But when I'm shooting film, it's completely different. I don't mind if the image isn't completely sharp. And I think that's the beauty of film too, that even when things are slightly out of focus or not pin sharp, there's still this beautiful quality about it. And I know with digital, when things aren't perfectly sharp, it looks like you've made a mistake, or you know, you can tell that it wasn't on purpose. But with film, it looks more intentional, and just every image with film is more beautiful and more timeless. And so because I'm not looking at the back of my camera every 2 seconds, making sure the shot's in focus, I can be more involved with my clients, having more conversation with them. So a lot of my session is me asking my clients questions and sharing about my own personal life. And so that way, by the end of the session, I feel like we know each other really well and we become friends. And so it's less about this business interaction and just going there to shoot and just getting a bunch of images. And it's more about building this relationship and having them actually enjoy the shoot and me enjoy working with them as well. Not being able to look at the back of my camera, it helps me to trust myself a lot more. So that way, when I'm seeing light and I'm seeing the way that the light's hitting their skin and it's hitting the background, I can just trust my instincts as I've been shooting it for a while and not have to worry about whether it's gonna turn out or whether that shot looked right. I've trained my eye to be able to see those things, so I don't need to see a digital preview to see how it's gonna look in the end. And this is also why I think it could be a good thing to start off with digital, so that way you can train your eye and you have faster preview to look at rather than waiting a week or 2 for your film scans. It is helpful to have that preview when you are just learning. Number 3 is way less editing time. So when I get my scans back, and I've built a relationship with my lab over the last 5 years and I use Photovision, when I get my scans back, I just need to do some minor adjustments. So usually I add some sharpening. I sometimes add a little bit more magenta, but for the most part, I'm not having to do these crazy adjustments to my scans unless I've messed up the exposure and I need to fix things that I've done wrong. But when it comes back from the lab, it's pretty much good to go. So I can usually edit a full session in 30 minutes or even less, just depending on how many images I shot. Now, if I were to edit a digital session that I spent an hour shooting and probably took 200 or 300 images, then I'm having to first of all call all of those images and only select the best ones. And then when I edit them, it takes me a lot longer to decide on what I like, and then I'll usually go back and forth whether the edit is good or the colors are good. And so it just takes me a lot longer and I feel a lot more pickier. And then typically by the time I'm delivering it, I'm not always fully happy and I'm always worried if the clients are gonna love them. But when I shoot film, I just have this reassurance of, you know, the images are already perfect, they're beautiful, just those minor adjustments that I need to make. But for the most part, it's just super, super quick for me. And then I feel confident when I deliver the images and I know that the clients are going to love them. Number 4 is film is timeless. So the best part about shooting film is that I can still use my images from 5 years ago and I still love them. I'll still share them on my Instagram. But when I look back at my digital images from 5 or 6 years ago, I don't really love them. My editing style has changed quite a bit. And obviously just the quality of my shooting and everything has changed as well. So that's the beauty of film, is I know that 10 years from now, I'm still going to love those images that I've taken with film. My clients are still gonna love those shots from their wedding that were on film. But I feel like the digital and the style and the editing, it all changes so quickly. And even the camera setup changes so quickly, the lenses. But with a camera like the Contax, people have been shooting that for years and they still love the look that they're getting from it, the lens and everything. It has never gone out of style. So that's a huge reason why I love shooting film, is that it is timeless. I still love the images from years ago and I know that I'll still love the images 10 years from now. Number 5 is the overall depth and color. When I get my film back, there's almost this 3-dimensional look to the images. I don't know how to explain it, but when I look at the digital, it looks pretty flat, but when I see my film images, the couple almost pops from the background, and that's because of that medium format ratio. Things do pop out a little bit more and you get that beautiful depth of field. So I love the depth and the colors and the skin tones that come with film. I shoot primarily Fuji 400 and I just love the skin tones that I get with that film stock. They're beautiful and creamy and kind of pink looking. And I just find with digital, I have to work a lot harder to get those skin tones and they still don't look as luminous as they do with film. There's still like a flat kind of feel that the skin has. And I can never get them to just have that bit of shine and contrast like it does with film. And then number 6 is the viewfinder. So when I'm shooting with the Contax and I'm looking through the viewfinder, it seems more accurate to life and to what I'm seeing in person rather than digital. Again, it looks kind of flat when I'm looking through the viewfinder, nothing's really popping out. So overall, I actually feel more creative when I'm shooting with my Contax and it makes me see things differently and actually focus on more detail shots. You know, shots of their hands holding, shots of their feet and of their outfits. I just see things a lot differently than I do with the digital camera. So to me, that's a huge bonus. It definitely affects my creativity and my overall shooting style. Okay, those are all my points of why I shoot film. I probably have some more that I'll dig up later. But most of all, I just want to say that a lot of people, you know, I'm in these photography groups on Facebook, and I find that people are always trying to get the film look. They're always figuring out the newest camera or the newest profile preset to get the film look, rather than just shooting film. And I don't know if it's because learning film is more work or it costs more money, but to me, the best way to get images that look like film is by at least shooting it first. So I understand if down the road you start moving towards digital because maybe it's more cost effective or it works better for you, but I find that you can't really replicate film until you've shot it, because it's not just about bright and airy images, it's the way film captures the shadows and the highlights and it reacts so differently in every situation. And even after 5 years of shooting it, there's still situations where I'm surprised on how it captured something, sometimes in a good way, sometimes, you know, it's a little bit different or more contrasty than I would have thought. But to me, that's the beauty of film, is that it reacts so differently, but it always has this timeless look to it and quality that I can't get with digital. So I highly recommend shooting film for yourself, so that way you can get an idea of how it reacts in different lighting scenarios, and at least then you'll be able to edit your digital images to look more similar. But to me personally, I'll always shoot film because I think it's worth it for all the reasons that I listed, especially less editing time, which I hate being on my computer for long periods of time. So it really helps me to actually just enjoy shooting in the process and not have to spend hours on my computer afterwards. I also find that shooting film separates you. So for me, it helps me stand out amongst all the other photographers in my area. I live in Niagara and I shoot a lot in Niagara and Toronto. And there's not too many photographers that are shooting film, especially the fine art wedding, you know, bright and airy feel. So it definitely separates me from all the other photographers. I'm able to raise my prices higher. I mean, I already need to because film is more expensive, but it kind of gives me more of a reason to charge more. And obviously, I feel that it gives a higher quality look to your work as well if you shoot it correctly. I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions or again, any topics that you'd like me to cover, make sure to post those in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure to like this video. I can't wait to put out more videos like this. I hope you guys have a great week and I'll see you in the next video.